Hi, welcome to Grimm Realities. So, you want to work for yourself. Let's talk about your options. You want to work for yourself as an independent software engineer. There are a couple of different distinct routes that you can take. There's contracting and freelancing. Now, a lot of people, those sound like the same things. They say, oh, well, as a freelancer, I'm just getting contracts and working on those. Not exactly.
Hi, this is Grimm. Welcome to Grimm Realities.
So contracting, you're usually working for another company. They have specific clients that have needs and they need a way to fulfill them. So a lot of times you'll have these companies that specialize in contracting out for the government, and they'll usually use subcontractors, that's where you come in, to actually do the work. So when you're contracting, some of the stuff that can be sweet is a lot of times people don't actually care if you finish the job. They just want you to bill them for hours so that they can then turn around and bill for hours, and they usually like double your rate. So let's say you're charging like $100 an hour. Well, that's pretty sweet. And someone else is going to pass along your bill and maybe mark it up another $100. So they're going to be charging the government, let's say, $200 an hour to deliver on some requirements. Let's say like a new a DMV locator by zip code, right? Some government entity needs to build that and they don't have any programmers on staff. They work with a contracting agency, which then hires you as a subcontractor, and then you send them your bill for the hours that you spent on the work, and then they send it back onto the government and they will mark it up heavily. So this can be awesome if you're really lazy and you like just getting paid, which, hey, I'm not judging you. It's actually not a bad gig if that's kind of what you're into. Here's the key with contracting. The contractors, right, that are paying you and getting paid by the large entity, they don't want you to finish because they want to keep billing. In fact, they want you to go over budget a lot of times because from their perspective, they're getting paid the longer it takes you to do something. Now, if you take pride in your work and you have any sense of professional ethics, you might not like that situation. You might say to yourself, well, I'm just taking money and I could actually be building something and not just taking money. So there's kind of one con, although that con still gets you paid. So is it really that bad? Maybe. But here's another con that is really going to get you as a contractor. You're going to be doing, God, the worst, most boring stuff. You're going to be stuck using old technology that you have no choice in what it is you're going to be writing. A lot of contractors are doing Java-based development. I'm not here to trash Java. I mean, I am, but not for this particular reason. I just don't like it. But you're not going to get to do like the cool new cutting edge stuff, like tooling that exists today. You're going to be stuck enhancing legacy systems, and it's going to be pretty miserable as if you're the kind of person that's actually into your job, and your job being that, you know, you like to engineer things, you like to build them. It can get pretty boring and bad. So that's the real con if you are into what you do as an engineer. Now, here's the other con. Contracts dry up. So you could have a great gig. You're making $100 an hour, 40 hours a week, maybe 50 hours a week. It's pretty good. You're making money. Boom, contract's over. And actually it can happen like suddenly when some new person comes in and they decide, you know what, we're wasting all this money on this contracting stuff. We're going to go a whole new direction. You might not get any warning at all. And then the contract's dead. And now where you were making $100 an hour, you're now making nothing. So now you're in complete famine mode. Okay, so you were feasting before and now you're starving. You better have saved up some of that money so that way you can spend time finding your next contract. So that's kind of the other part of contracting that can be very difficult. Me, I've never been the contracting type. I was more of a freelancer. So let me describe what that is. And it sounds the same, but it's not. Freelancing, now this is my definition of freelancing, but freelancing is you're out there trying to find projects, not contracts. So for one, I would never work for an hourly rate. And the reason, and what I would tell my prospective clients was I would tell them, look, you don't want me working hourly. Motivates me to take a longer time. Why would I be in a rush to do something in 3 hours that I could do in 30 hours, right? Why would I want to get paid, let's keep it an even number, $300 when I could get paid $3,000? It doesn't make any sense, right? That part of being a contractor is you're usually working on a rate basis for a certain amount of time to get something done. For being a freelancer, you're usually helping somebody build a business or realize revenue in a business that exists. Let me give you an example. Mobile app development. A lot of companies exist and they need mobile apps and they don't have anybody in-house to build them. So a business where you have a freelancer that builds mobile apps is not all that uncommon. It's actually very common. Freelancing, think about that as more project-based, where a contracting position is more time-based. The cool thing about freelancing is, in my experience, you get to work with kind of cooler projects, better clients, right? You get to work with people who are in the startup world, it's better than the government contracting world. Let's be real. It's more fun. They're kind of in it to take risks and kind of change things and build something new. That's interesting. You get to use cooler tooling. You get to kind of say like, all right, you guys want this, and this is how I'm going to deliver that to you. And a lot of times the client has no idea what you're talking about. So if I say, yeah, I'm going to build your React Native app, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be able to work on Android and iOS. And they'll just be like, yeah, that sounds awesome. So that's not a bad thing. Actually, it's kind of a good thing, especially if you're into experimenting and using the latest technology and really kind of being there with the leading edge of the tech. So freelance, project-based. But here's where freelancing sucks. Here's the grim reality behind freelancing. It's after you deliver product. What happens? So let's say you deliver a mobile app to a company. Now they're out there and they're succeeding and people like their mobile app. Oh no. You have a couple choices. This is actually the worst part of freelancing, hands down. You have a couple choices. You can either charge them some predefined rate where you are going to do maintenance on their application, maybe for some monthly rate, whatever. Or you can say like, okay, you guys are on your own. If you ever need me, we can re-engage on a project basis if you need maintenance or whatever. But there's a gray area. What happens when the mobile app is broken? Now, I hear what you're saying. The mobile app's not going to break. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. Because you don't know what Apple's going to decide is no longer allowed in their store. You don't know what Google's going to decide are the new requirements for Android apps. Grim rant. So what's going to happen is your application's going to break. And you're saying, well, it's not my fault. It's Google's fault. Guess what? That client that you sold, this application to has no idea what any of that means. So to them, it is your fault. It's your fault that Google decided they're requiring all new builds of applications to be 64-bit and your application no longer works. So you're in a position where you're going to come back to your client and you're going to say, you know what? Hey, I'll fix it, but it's going to cost, a couple $1,000s for me to do this because it's my time and I have to make money. And they're going to hate you for it. Who cares if they hate you, right? Wrong. You're a freelancer. Your entire business is based around your reputation. So they're going to go online, they're going to trash you, or if you're a person that does a lot of local networking, they're going to trash you locally, and you're going to get a bad reputation, and then you're just done. So what ends up happening is you're now beholden to every project you've ever built when you're a freelancer, and you have to keep these people's lives running, okay? And it gets worse than that, because the scenario I just came up with, or just to share with you, is like some app store with Google. What actually happens also is you become the de facto tech support person for this small business. I've had people calling me complaining that they don't know the password to get into their email account. And I'm like, lady, I built you a WordPress site in 2008. I don't know your password to your email. I don't know what email you're using. I don't even remember you. That's the life of a freelancer. You're dealing with these people forever. You're dealing with their problems forever. Well, eventually people disappear one way or another, but it takes a long time and you're probably not getting the correct amount of money that it's going to cost you 4 years down the line when someone's sending you text messages because they can't access their website anymore because they stopped paying their hosting bill, which is, somehow your fault. So if you're going to get into freelancing, you got to think about not just how do I get clients now, how do I set my clients up to not become like a ball and chain wrapped around my neck, dragging me to the depths, right? Because that's eventually, in my experience, that's what happens. It gets worse than that. When you're a freelancer, it's somebody's relying on you to build software that becomes the heart of their business. You are now the single point of failure for their business. So if there's some outage, if there's some problem, if there's some bug, these people are going to hound you because you're the only one that can save the day when their website's down and that's their entire business. Like I've worked with businesses in the past where they have multi-millions of dollars of revenue and it's literally all on my shoulders. If something goes wrong, it's all on me to fix it, but they're not paying me anymore. Why would I care? And I generally only care because I just want them to leave me alone. So this is one of the reasons why I got out of freelancing when I did. But I don't mean to totally trash on freelancing. It actually can work out great. But one of the cooler things is as you do it more and more, you kind of get to understand that it's not just your client that is finding you and choosing you. You get to choose your clients. If you're going to take anything from this video, take this. Choose your clients wisely. Choose people that you like talking to and dealing with. Obviously, in the beginning, when you're just starving and you'll do anything just to get paid, you'll do any project. All right, you kind of got to just say, oh yeah, I'll build that, and maybe for less than you want. But after a while, and if you're smart, after not that long, once you get any kind of positive reputation, just start turning people away if they annoy you. Grimm Rant! If you think they annoy you now before they've paid you, wait until they've paid you. They're going to be your worst nightmare. If you're looking to go into business for yourself as an engineer, there's the contracting route, which is feast and famine. It's also, you're probably doing old stuff. It's less cool. And I don't know what the third one is. Forget that. Forget the third one. If you're going into freelancing, you can do kind of what you want in the sense that you get to choose the technology. Your clients usually have no idea. They just want you to deliver on a project. Oh yeah, third one over here, usually getting paid hourly, which suddenly can dry up, okay, hourly. When you're freelancing, you get paid on a project basis, so your natural motivations can be lined up with your customers, which is a really cool space to be in, right? Where they want something done as quickly as possible, and so do you, because you want to get that check. The major downside is that these clients are never going to leave you alone. Ever. That's the grim reality.